LAFC, the Stars of Cali, the face of the MLS, the superstar team, the team that's supposed to be invincible to defeat, the team that's supposed to be unbeatable for the rest of the season. Because this is something that I alluded to. So I'm throwing myself under the bus. I'm not ashamed to throw myself under the bus. Because I expected LAFC to go undefeated for the rest of this season. I didn't take that San Jose loss as serious because San Jose is a team where all of those players are competing for their jobs. A lot of those players, I strongly believe it's going to be a huge roster overhaul in San Jose once Luchi Gonzalez fully takes over. So a lot of those guys in San Jose, they're not only auditioning to keep their job in San Jose, they're auditioning for other clubs in the MLS. They're trying to create highlight tapes for other MLS clubs, Liga MX clubs, European clubs, USL Championship clubs. So of course, those guys in San Jose is going to play a little harder than they ever have before this whole season. And they're playing against LAFC. See, even though LAFC, this is one thing you have to realize now. Usually, when teams play hard against a specific team, that's usually because that specific team won a championship. Like NYC FC, for example. The reason why a lot of people have played NYC FC extremely hard this season because they are the reigning champions. And people want to make sure that they don't repeat as a champion again. So that happens to every team that wins a champion the previous year. The following season, teams play hard against them. But for you, LAFC, you're not the champion, but teams are playing you like you are the champion. Because you have high-powered players. You have stars. You have a star-filled roster. So every game from here on out, LAFC, is going to be tough. Every game from here on out, teams are going to give you their all. And I think that this is something that you haven't realized, but maybe this loss from Austin will help you realize that. Here's another takeaway from the LAFC Austin match. Friday night soccer needs to continue to be a thing. You have your 3 Cali boys. You have your 3 Texas boys. You have the 3 Cascadia boys. Because, we can't leave them out of the conversation. We just can't. That's all you need from Friday night soccer. Once upon a time, I was thinking a couple monologues ago, I was saying that, the MLS, they should consider adding more cities in the West so they can fully secure every Western major market for Friday night soccer. Well, this past Friday, the teams that played, they showed us that the MLS does not need to add any more Western teams. The MLS have more than enough Western teams for Friday night soccer for the next 20 years. Your 3 Cali boys, your 3 Texas boys, and your 3 Cascadia boys. I believe that San Jose is going to get it together. Because the thing about San Jose is this. San Jose just needs somebody to remind them who they're supposed to be. When that original team relocated to Houston, it really hurt San Jose. It really did. So San Jose, they're not a horrible team like the way I once thought they were. San Jose just needs to be reminded who they are. And during this offseason, I am going to continue to remind San Jose who they are. Houston, you need to pick up the slack too. Because Houston, you got the guys that San Jose that was supposed to stay in San Jose. Like Houston, I don't really know what's the problem with you. but you need to get it together. Here's another takeaway from the LAFC Austin match. The race for the Supporter Shield will be decided on decision day. Look at the standings right now. LAFC, 57 points. Philly, 54 points. Austin, 51 points. And let us not sleep on Montreal, that has 49 points. I know they're a long shot, but Montreal is that dark horse to win that Supporter Shield. And here's my last takeaway before I talk about Philly. Gareth Bale and Giorgio Chiellini are not dominant in the MLS, and they will never be dominant in the MLS. Let me tell you, European fanboys, something. Now, I know some of you were watching the Austin LAFC game on Friday because you wanted to see the two European stars go at it so you can tell your American soccer friends that you told them so. You told them that those two guys will far exceed expectations, and the MLS is just like a little teenage league to them, and they have nothing to worry about. So when you European fanboys saw how Gareth Bale couldn't keep up with the pace of Austin, you saw when Chiellini couldn't keep up with the pace of Austin, you guys were probably shocked. Listen, there's a reason why last week or 2 weeks ago, the coach of LAFC said that Gareth Bale and Giorgio Chiellini was on load management. Whenever you hear a coach say that about any player in any league, look, it's either two things. Number one, he's injury prone. Number two, he's up there in age and he can't keep up with the young legs. And that's the case with Bale and Chiellini. Now, I know Bale is getting ready for World Cup preparation for his home country, and he's probably thinking about injuries. But let's use this game on Friday as a reminder to all you European players in your 30s, and you think that you can just come to the MLS and smoke a cigarette on the sideline and still play well on the field. Mr. Gonzalo Higuain, you are being lied to. If whoever's telling you that this league is some kind of JV amateur league, you are being lied to. And the person that's giving you that kind of information is short-sighted and ignorant. European players, do not listen to American European fanboys. You see, the American European soccer fans in this country, they have no clue about the MLS. They have absolutely no clue about the MLS. So if you get information from them, they are going to lead you down the wrong path. The European fanboys in America are completely clueless about American soccer. They don't know how many teams the MLS have. They don't even know that the USL exists. They are just completely clueless. And speaking of Gonzalo Higuain, I believe he's supposed to be the Gareth Bale of the East Coast. And he's been with Miami since 2020 or 2021. But it's now late in the second half of the 2022 season where he's finally getting it together, where he's finally looking like that guy that he was advertised to be. So Gareth Bale and Giorgio Chiellini are not even on the level of Cucho Hernandez. They're not on the same level as the two Italians in Toronto, Insigne and the guy whose last name begins with a B. The two new Italian players in Toronto and Cucho Hernandez, we need more of those European players in the MLS. Guys who will come and make an immediate impact. So if I'm you, LAFC, from this season on, I will continue the load management with the older European stars, supposed stars. The two guys who are supposed to be dominating the MLS according to European fanboy standards. I'll continue to use them as backups. Use them as coming off the bench. And you can bring them in like in the 60th minute, the 70th minute, you know. The good thing about LAFC is so loaded that they don't need Bale and Chiellini to be stars. And more so just need them to be valuable pieces. They don't have to be the face of the team. They just need to be important value role players. Those two guys would be better off being role players. They're not on the same level as Cucho Hernandez and the two Italians in Toronto, so they don't have to be the face of an organization. They just need to be valuable role players. And as the case for Chiellini, continue to be a good player coach, because it looks as if Chiellini would do a better job as being a player coach more than being an actual MLS player. And let's be honest, a lot of us casual sports fans, we never even heard of those two guys until the news started breaking that they're coming to the MLS. Like when it comes to European soccer stars, like us casual sports fans, those who are not European fanboys, the only like European soccer stars we really know is Messi and Ronaldo, guys like them. And that's how I don't watch too many European soccer. I can't even name all the other stars. Memphis Depay. And the only reason why I know about Memphis Depay is because of that move that he made in the European MLS preseason friendly, and that went viral. Anyways, LAFC, I'm not worried about you. You're loaded. You have enough depth. You'll be all right. You just got to go back to the drawing board and don't force those two older European players who are on the retirement side of 30. Don't force them to be a star. Just allow them to be valuable role players, because they most likely will be gone after next season along with Vela.
The battle was attrition, kept running hard like a cheetah on pursuit. The way I play made others look the loop, so I